Alrighty, and a few housekeeping items for today's session. If you do have any questions, we ask that you place them in the chat. We have a lot of folks joining in, and we want to make sure we can get to all of your questions, but we also only have about 28 minutes left allotted, so we are going to jump right in. But go ahead, put all those questions in the chat. If you are joining us from one of our subscribing institutions, you can also reach out to us to schedule a formal training session. We have some new teammates joining the PowerNotes company that can assist with other aspects aside of just training. We have a new faculty consultant, and we have a few others that can assist with more technical things if they are needed. My colleague Caroline is joining me in the chat. Caroline heads up our customer support and user experience team. So Caroline should be able to address anything that you have. We have a pretty big and diverse audience today. We have not only folks from the academic side, from professors and students, but we also have some non-academic users as well. So for today, we plan on doing a quick overview of our core tools. We will jump then into some of the teaching tools. For our non-academic users, these teaching tools, we now have the ability to set these up outside of an educational organization. So if you're starting to think of ways they might be useful for your business, for your organization, as far as having roles or enabling other features, let us know. We'd be happy to set that up. As of right now, they are only used in educational settings. And then we're going to spend the last few minutes spotlighting our new AI features. So some of the folks in the audience, I know we've already shown you how these tools work. So this will be a refresher. But for some of you all, this will be your first time seeing the PowerNotes AI features. The PowerNotes AI features currently need to be enabled at the school or class level. If you're not coming from an educational institution and you want to try out the AI features, you can let us know and we can share more on what those subscription packages look like. All righty, so let's jump in. Starting here at PowerNotes.com, here's where you can find all things PowerNotes. So our resources, everything from help and support to video tutorials to updates on our latest features, all of that information can be found here. That is different than app.powernotes.com, which will bring you into your own PowerNotes account and specifically into your project outline. So the project outline is your homepage for your own account, where you can see all of the things that you are working on from your own view here. This is all saved in the cloud, so anything that happens here, or if you're using the PowerNotes browser extension, there's no need to click save or anything along those lines. It will all save for you automatically. So in this example, I am in an example student account named Jason Thompson. Don't worry, Jason is completely made up. I made him up earlier this morning after asking ChatGPT to write a list of student names for me. So I have Jason here. He has a few different projects. A few of them were shared with him by instructors. I will touch on that in a moment. Then I also have a project that I'm starting from scratch. So here inside a PowerNotes project, you can, of course, change topic names. By default, we will start each topic or each project with background and new topic. But maybe you want to make this introduction. Come down here, maybe change this to evidence. And you can always go to your topic manager on the right-hand side of the page, click on that. And here is really where you can start adding more to that. So you can have another topic and another topic, as many as you'd like to, structuring this how you would prefer. In this example, this is more for educational purposes, of course, having introductions, evidence, conclusions, different things in between there. But as you can imagine, you can get very creative as to how you organize your work inside of PowerNotes. Completely flexible. We have some users add Roman numerals, subtopics, all of that, very easy to do. You can drag topics around like this, set them up however you would like to. If there was content in there already, all of the content within those topics would move. So there's no need to move little chunks at a time. You can take big chunks and move them. You can change colors associated with topics. And you can also add new topics as you are in the sources. So a main aspect of PowerNotes, which most of you are probably familiar with, is the browser extension. So the browser extension will work on top of Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. For our Safari users, we are planning on rolling out Safari support this fall. Here I have a few different sources pulled up just to give you somewhat of a realistic example of how you can switch between tabs and have PowerNotes with you every step along the way. This is to show you that it'll work everywhere. So PDFs that are online or on your computer, ebook platforms, a vast majority of ebook platforms, I'll put an asterisk next to that one. Anything from the open web, all of your databases, if you're coming from an educational institution, anything you open up in the browser, PowerNotes should work on. If it does not, you can always contact our support team with this little help menu. The help menu is found in the PowerNotes sidebar. If you have the sidebar minimized and you're not sure how to find it, you can click on the extension menu. We have tech support there. And if you're not sure how to find the extension menu, you can use the question mark right inside of your project outline or project homepage. We have tech support there. If you are coming from one of our educational partners, you may have the library support built in. That is an embedded chat with your library. We may have that set up, we may not. But if it's not enabled at your school, you just will not see this chat there. So once again, users can activate the PowerNotes sidebar from any online source. They can have their outline with them. They can have it minimized. You do not need to ever click over here. The only thing you need to make sure is that PowerNotes is turned on. So once PowerNotes is turned on, all of these tools are enabled. And in order to save information, you just highlight text, and then this box will pop up. This box is part of PowerNotes. The first thing you will see, that project. So if you realize you're in the wrong project, you can switch it there. And then you can organize that quote into that highlight there. So you highlight text, organize it, click save. Let me pop this back up. Here's what I've highlighted. And here's a direct link back to that source. So from here, I can keep on highlighting text, organize it, annotate it if I want to. Everything will save right in real time. If I flip back into the project outline, here are those two quotes that I've saved. So I can jump back in here. It's that easy. Along with saving a link back to the source, PowerNotes will automatically grab a citation. This should work on a majority of the sources that you are in. It will not work on everything, which is why we have a few different features built in for you to add it on your own. So the first thing you can do, click Confirm Citation. You can edit the format here if you did not preset that for that specific project. You can make sure that's accurate. Edit if you need to, then just click Save. Doing that once for the source is good enough. So now every time I grab something from the source, I will have a citation. I can also grab images, charts, and diagrams. There's a take screenshot icon, purple at the top of the sidebar. I click on that. I can select this image, and I can organize it just as if it was text. There's also a few easy ways to incorporate video and audio. While we don't support clipping with video and audio just yet, you can bookmark those sources and bring them into your project outline. For example, if this was, say, a YouTube video, there's a bookmark icon here. So I can click Add Bookmark. Then right here, I might put from 110 to 145 in this video, use for X, Y, or Z. And I can take this video, edit that. and I can take this video and I can put it into my project in there. I've now brought it right in there. Here's a link to it. It'll bring me right to that entire source. So fairly easy to incorporate entire sources as well, and a great workaround for videos, or if this was like a podcast link, which I think actually it is. So you can incorporate that. Here on the open web from this NPR article, all works exactly the same. Not too exciting, but just to show you the interface for grabbing and saving the citation as well. A few things that are somewhat new here in the sidebar. There is a sort and filter option. So this has always been available in the project outline, but now we've put it here in the sidebar. So if you click on this button, it'll show you two menus at the top of your outline. The first thing you can do is filter. If you want to only see your bookmarks or only see things on this current page, you can customize that. As you can imagine, these projects become quite large, and we want to minimize distractions for you. You can also sort. So you can sort by default. It'll be the topical outline that you have built. You can also sort by date. Here, everything now is in chronological order. So I've done all of this, in the past 15 minutes or so. And you can sort by source as well. So this will show you all of the sources that are used, all of the outside sources that are used, and you can jump into those sources to see what you've pulled from them, where it lives in your project, and so on. And if this was a group project, you can sort by editor. Not too exciting because I've done all of this. Alrighty, so then you can come back into your project outline. You can do a lot of reorganization and revision here. It's very nifty, very easy to do. And you can, as you can see, you can drag and drop or use the card filters and card menu to move this information. You can also copy everything out into another project entirely. So if you're working on something and you want to send it out, you can do that individually with these cards, or you can send an entire topic out to another project as well. All right, so I'm going to jump into a few of the teaching features. This will be just a quick view of them. I want to make sure I have time to cover the AI features at the end, but for those professors, instructors, teachers in the audience, this could be something that you might want to take a look at if you have not yet already. So currently these features, they can be enabled through the LMS, or if you do not have the LMS integration, we also have a new feature rolling out this week actually, which is called PowerNotes Classrooms, where we can set up individual classrooms outside of the LMS. There's still a little bit of a manual component there, but it'll allow you to build your own classroom and send things out to your students and facilitate the assignment. So I'm going to jump into an entirely other PowerNotes account. So for that account I was just in with my example student, Jason. Jason was a student in this class. So in this class here, I've accessed it through the LMS. So we currently support Canvas, Moodle, D2L Brightspace, and Blackboard. We have plans for Sakai and a few other providers moving forward. Let us know if your school uses an LMS that we do not support, and we can put it in our queue. But we also have, as I mentioned, PowerNotes Classrooms rolling out. So you can utilize these features for your entire school or just for one individual class. And you can do so without the full LMS integration, as we understand that process can be quite time consuming. So as a professor, if you were assigned as a professor through the LMS or through the PowerNotes Classrooms tool, you can take one of your projects that you've built and send it out directly to your students. And there's also a few assignment monitoring and academic integrity features built into that. So in this example, I put together this group research project on the benefits of stretching. So I'm a professor. I came in, I've added these topics. These are not short topics. These are more longer topics that I want my students to see. and I've pinned so far 2 readings for them. So I want them to come in, start with these readings. You can be more sophisticated than this. You can add annotations to these bookmarks. You can put these bookmarks into your project outline. If you want them to read a specific source for one of the topics, you can have them do that. You can move it around like that. You can bookmark your syllabus in here. We've seen a lot of professors get very creative. As these new teaching features improve and roll out over time, you will see an enhanced user experience for teachers. But as of right now, it's very easy to set things up and then take one of these templates and send it out to your students. So this view may be new to some of you. This is the PowerNotes assignments tab. Excuse me, I had a notification on the other screen over here. I was making sure that it was not coming from Zoom. So over here, we have PowerNotes assignments where you can easily create an assignment, and you can see different assignments that are live for this class. So in my PowerNotes 201 class, I have 2 live assignments, and I can come in here, click Create New, and set up an assignment in a matter of minutes. So the first thing it'll have me do, I can set an assignment name. I can set due dates. Of course, select a template. So which of my own PowerNotes projects do I want to send out to my students? And then we have a few configurations and settings here. A few things like, do you want to include those bookmarks that you have added to your project? Do you want to lock sharing settings? Do you want to turn off the auto citation feature? You can also lock the topics that you've created, or you can give students the flexibility to delete, add, remove those over time. We've also had a few professors that are piloting PowerNotes. They have started out with something that's about blank. They said, here are the instructions, but as far as the topics go and the content, go out and find whatever you'd like to and structure it how you would like. So there's a lot of flexibility in there. It's completely up to the professor and that specific activity. We also have PowerNotes Insight. So this is fairly new. This is included if you would have the LMS integration, or if you would like to add this to the PowerNotes Classrooms tool. Here is where you can set expectations for the assignment. So you can add a value for each expectation. So things like target number of sources, target number of total annotations, and if you'd like to as well, target time spent. So I put in a few values here just as an example. Also, my colleague Caroline has placed a few resources in the chat, and she just put in our latest web page on PowerNotes Insight covering these features. So these features are somewhat timely because of the emerging generative AI tools like ChatGPT and other features. Those tools are great, they are useful, but of course they can be concerning if you are grading an output and you're not sure how the student got to that output. So the whole purpose around PowerNotes Insight is to help professors scaffold assignments and ensure that students are checking those small boxes and completing those small inputs along the way. Because while AI can fake an output and generate an output, AI cannot fake the process. And PowerNotes is process driven. So if you put in, for example, target number of sources 10, the students will need to go to 10 sources, engage with that source, highlight, read it. They'll have to work on that source in order for it to appear here in the Insight score. You cannot fake a source like, for example, ChatGPT. We've all heard horror stories of hallucinations, different accuracy and bias issues. I know me, I personally use ChatGPT, and I try to steer away from any type of, helping me cite sources, because who knows where that information is coming from. Even with the improved GPT-4, GPT-4 8K and 32K, there are some concerns there. So with PowerNotes, we just make sure that the students are going out, finding those sources, using them, engaging with them. And then all of these numbers here will generate that insight score. Let me go back to an assignment to give you an idea of what that would look like. So here, this is the instructor view, the title of the assignment. I have all of my students. Don't worry, this is a fake class. I just created this earlier today. And I have a link inside of all of these projects. So many of these students have not started. So if I jump into, for example, Aisha's assignment, I see that Aisha has not started yet. So I can actually send Aisha a message here. If I don't want to send an email or a message to the LMS, you can also add a message and comment right inside of the student's project. But I see down here that Jason, that's the project that we were in, and I did a similar demonstration earlier this morning inside of the same project. Jason is 16% done. So that score reflects the number of sources I'm putting in, if a target time spent, because that's another value, and target number of total annotations. So I jump into Jason's assignment. I see that Jason has started to bookmark some things, started to put in some random information, but as you can see, all of the work is starting to populate from Jason's end. So I can give feedback if I want to, or I can just use the Insight score as an indicator of that student's progress. We also provide an activity log. So the students will have this, you'll have a direct link into the student's project at any point in time, showing how or what that project looks like at that specific point in time, but the students may have deleted something or changed something. The activity log will show all of the events that have taken place with an artifact, so with evidence. So I can scroll down here and see, all right, at 12:31 p.m. Central Time, there was a comment added by the professor. I can see what that comment was. For this class or for this assignment, I have the time on task feature enabled. So I can see Jason logged some time on a page at 12:29. I come in here, Jason logged 175 active seconds on this page at this time. So all of this is designed to be customizable for the professor, because they're the ones that turned on the time on task, and then just provide clear evidence. So you can see, all right, here's a free form note. They typed in some gibberish, it looks like, at 12:27. They came in here, typed in this, and then you can even see things like they highlighted something. Here's where it came from. Here's the time that it was completed. So a lot of great ways to create, manage, and facilitate those assignments. All righty. So you also may have noticed that when you're setting up an assignment, let's see if I can go back and find one. Let me just come back in here. There is now the option to enable different AI features. So these AI features will need to be enabled at the school level first. So you can reach out to us if you're curious about these. They are AI token powered, so you'll have to have AI tokens available at your school in order for them to actually work. For different assignments, professors can select either all 3 of the AI features, or just 2 of them, or just 1 of them, or none of them at all. The goal is to give these guardrails or bumpers on how AI is used in assignment, and keep it transparent and visible for everyone involved. So students aren't trying to go out, use some tool on the open web where who knows where that information is going, there's no privacy involved, and then trying to bring it back into a Word doc or something. With PowerNotes, we just put the AI features right inside of our workflow, and I can show you how that happens. So in this example project here, you may have noticed this brainstorm with AI. So I'm only seeing this because this feature was enabled at the class level. If it was not enabled, you would not see this and the feature would not be there. So we have 3 different AI tools. Well, generally speaking, 3 different AI tools. We have open prompting, closed prompting, and PowerNotes discovery. So open prompting is something that many of us, if not all of us in today's session, have probably experimented with or use on a daily basis. That is asking ChatGPT or another AI tool just an open question, or asking it without really providing it information beforehand. So it could be something like, write an introduction paragraph on why Chicago is the best city in the world. We're from Chicago, so we're a little biased here. So you can see how the student will come in, engage with the AI. It will log it as a brainstorm session. Here is the question that the student had asked. Here's the response. Everything's tagged, labeled as AI generated, and that cannot be deleted. So if the professor wanted to jump into Jason's assignment here, they would be able to see all of the interactions. And you, just like with ChatGPT, which this is an integration with OpenAI, so this is powered by GPT 3.5. Your school can also turn on GPT-4 and other AI tools. As of right now, OpenAI, I believe it's only OpenAI, has the only vendor API for us to plug in. So you can keep going back and forth as you normally would if you were like using ChatGPT, for example. But with PowerNotes, it's all right here. You can take this and you can actually promote it into your project. So instead of like copying and pasting it, and once again, thinking back to the entire PowerNotes workflow of incorporating outside work, AI is now just another part of the process. So I can add this AI generated text into my outline. If I need to, I can actually delete some of this stuff. We will always save the original version, and you'll always be able to see the thread of where it came from, even if you start something new. So you can see here are my previous brainstorms. I can open them, see what I did, just like that. So we also have what's called closed prompting. So open prompting will use the language model, goes out into that knowledge base, answers the question based on that. But with closed prompting, we help students control the knowledge base, which of course there's several benefits, minimizes hallucinations, improves accuracy, and so on. So instead of just asking an open question, you might say, you know, write an intro paragraph on this. And even if you have a spelling error, it'll still work. But you can now grab your own writing, outside research, and select things that you want the AI to operate on, and that will turn into your knowledge base. So you're shrinking what it knows to improve accuracy. And also there are several instructional benefits here. First, you're seeing that the student had went out, they found the sources, they did the work. And then now they're only using the AI to help with writing or to help with other aspects of their assignment. There are dozens of use cases here. We'd be happy to brainstorm and collaborate with you on that. So here's how it works with closed prompting. Here's the question I've asked. Here are the 4 pieces of research, or I've actually selected some of my own writing to include in that. And then here's the response. So this is not going out into, you know, the internet as of 2021. This is only using what I have given it to use, closing its knowledge base and providing me a response based on that. So you can select individual quotes and sources and all of that to ask questions to once again, minimize those hallucinations, improve accuracy, and so on. So I see a question coming in. Do you have some assignment instructions as resources instructors can use for their own assignment instructions? Most likely, yes. We would just have to know a little bit more about how you plan to use PowerNotes so we can send you the relevant resources. I would say a great starting point would be to come to powernotes.com and to go to help and support and start exploring there. You may see a few different ideas, but also send us an email and we can also handpick some internal resources that you might have available depending on what is covered in your class. So the last thing that I want to show you, now that we've covered open prompting, closed prompting, is AI discovery. So AI discovery is a nifty way to become more productive while you're researching in the browser. So once again, just like open and closed prompting, these features will need to be enabled at the classroom level. For those independent users that could be in our audience today, we will most likely have an individual subscription with these features coming soon. So at any point in time when you're reading, you can also activate the PowerNotes Discovery button right here in the sidebar. It will only appear inside of the assignments that you've selected or that the instructor has enabled it. So when you click on that, it will do three things for you. It will generate a summary, it will generate research topics, and it'll allow you to query the article with a Q&A. So first things first, here is the summary of this article. This one's not too long, so it's not too exciting, but I'm sure we've all experienced trying to read through a 30, 40, 50, 100-page long document and only to find that it's not useful for you at all. So here you can get that summary at the click of a button. We've even heard of some people doing this manually by copying and pasting the entire article into ChatGPT. Here you can do it with the click of a button. We also have research topics. So the AI will generate 5 research topics based on the text of the page. You can click on one of these research topics, and we will run a search in the database that your school selects. So by default, like right here, this is just a Google search. So it'll search for these terms in Google. Here are the results. But we can also pair this with your library. So we can send your students or faculty researchers, librarians, whoever it may be, right into your library after generating this research topic for them. And we have the Q&A. So as of today, the Q&A, there are 3 questions that are asked and answered by the AI. And then we have a field for you to come in and ask questions as well. This is another case where we're shrinking the AI's knowledge base to only information on this page. So if you ask it something off the walls, like what is my favorite color, which ChatGPT might try to answer that, here we let you know that it's not relevant. So it's very easy to start asking questions and getting more information from the articles you're on. For the educators here, we are also adding a way for the professor to pre-select the questions that will populate here. Meaning you can say, for every source that the student gets to, ask these 3 questions. Then the AI will answer it based on the text, but all of the questions will be consistent. So if you're looking for consistent things, those questions can auto-populate for everything that you pull up. But of course, the answers will be different because the text on the page will be different. So here with PowerNotes Discovery, you can do a lot, become more productive, more efficient. And once again, it's very easy for instructors to turn this on if they want it, or to turn it off if they do not. So that is the PowerNotes update and training session. We are a few minutes over. I appreciate all the questions that have come in. As you can see, we are working on an awful lot. Everything from improving the user experience for our students and independent end users in the audience. We're expanding our teaching features for all of those professors and educators in the audience. If we have any LMS or IT or tech support folks, we're streamlining how we can onboard and integrate these tools. Things are growing in every direction. We appreciate all of your feedback. If you do have other questions, ideas, recommendations, you know how to reach us. And thank you so much for the time, and we hope you all have a great day.